Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those who are still very new to my channel, my name is Florence Stowe, and actually I'm a divorce lawyer who have been practicing for 12 years in Malaysia. Very frank to say is that many people are asking me why I have to blogs about all these things, why I have to read a lot of books regarding romance and relationships all the time, including mental health. It's because I found that it's nowadays you're only looking for a lawyer who only talks about the law and knowledge without really have empathy towards what situation you are going through. I think he or she may need to do some things in his or her life, especially in this legal career. Same as you, I used to suffer a lot in my past relationship. I used to cry. I used to go through a lot of sleepless nights. I even feel suffocated when anyone talks about my past relationship. I even used to lose my own boyfriends before we engaged our marriage. So there's a lot of things used to be happening to my life until I feel really very tired on what happened to myself, why all those things would keep on happening to me, and why I couldn't succeed in any relationship I have had. So that's why today I purposely want to shoot this vlog, and I try to divide the two parts of this blog. The first part will be what is the main gist that always omitted in our societies regarding the concept of relationship, and the second part will be about the wrong conceptions that we always have had when it comes towards the word relationship in our life. As my previous blog, I used to mention that I read a lot of books, especially during pandemic, since that Malaysia have been going through MCO, movement restriction control, for around 1.5 years at least. So at that particular time, it's the good time for me to really self-invest myself by reading a lot of books, especially come to relationships. Since on that particular time, I have to maintain very hard for my long-distance relationship with my ex-boyfriend. So I learned a lot. But for all those books that I read through, there are around 20 over to 30 books regarding relationship. But so far, I just want to highlight the two books that I found that actually it is quite relevant and also quite famous in many countries. The first one, I guess you are quite familiar, is 5 Love Languages on the secret of how the love lasts. These 5 languages, I couldn't deny that they are important for us to communicate with each other. The first one is about act of service. Like some of them may feel that I need somebody to help me, maybe to help me to do some household chores or help me to release to fold some clothes. I may feel happy, I may feel some fulfillments from it. The second language will be about like togetherness, means spending quality times with your partners. And the third language mentions about this book is by receiving gifts, like regarding like physical touch, like cuddles, hugging, is something that are very important for someone, including sex. So everyone may have different languages, but this author trying to categorize 5 languages. And the most important part is the author is trying to tell us that we have to always communicate with our life partners, so we would like to know that how to feel each other's party's love tag. Second book, I think this book should be very famous and everyone should know that. That's the book's name as Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. The author is trying to tell us that what is the differences of the mindsets between women and men. So we have to know about each species mindset, only we are able to communicate well. This book really attracted me is the part about the main cave principles, because I found that men sometimes they really need some alone time and they're different from women. They would like to hide themselves inside a cave for quite some time, and I'm the one who like to knock on the cave door and shout at them and call them to come over the cave. So I learned some things from this book, especially this principle I want to highlight to you all. But no matter how, there are a lot of things still omitted in those books, even though they are bestsellers. Certain gist that I still couldn't find it from those books. So today I'm going to highlight that what gist that they actually already omitted in those books. Basically, the first point that always omitted by the author is they forgot to ask the reader what we want and what we don't want in our life. That's why a lot of friends, once they break up, they always shift the blame to another party. They will even blame for the God, will blame about the fate. They even say that this person maybe is not the right person and they wait for a new person to come into their life. Some of them wait for 10 or 20 years, but they just couldn't find the right one because they forgot about that. There's no right person in this world. Everyone comes to your life, either it is a lesson for life or a person for life. And we tend to forget about we are the rulers in our life. We are the one who makes the decisions. So either ruin your life or build up a good life. It depends on our decisions today. So, and the second things that omitted by those books is there's no book really define what is love. We always expect that the love is something that we have to fulfill someone love them, or love actually is something that the sweetness only come within ourselves. We couldn't expect it from others people. A lot of relationship turns sour. It's just because we set up too much of expectations and targets towards another parties and make yourselves unhappy. The third point is very frank to say is that some of the author may forget about the cultures and also the family's behaviors that we have had right now, because our actually are the victims from our parentings, especially from those 80s or 90s babies like me. Why? Because our parents would like to impose a lot of values in and embedded in our mind from small. I always want to look for a guy that really looks like my dad, who is really able to take care all of us, or maybe my brothers would always like to look for a wife that who is able to cook a good meal, prep for the 3 meals for the family. After I go through quite a number of divorce consultation, I found that so many of them feel that they fed up with their marriage is because they found that this person is no longer the right person for them. They always look for persons that they could get the approval and acknowledgement from their family members and from their culture. Let's say some of them may feel that I want to have a wife able to cook for me, help me to take care of my children, but when they really work in a society, especially nowadays, they found that, oh my god, my wife shouldn't stay at home all the time, because there's a lot of bread and butter issues right now, and it is so difficult for you to rely a breadwinner sustain the living cost nowadays. So that's the things that they don't really know, that what kind of person you are looking for, whether it's a family-oriented person or career-oriented person. So there's the things that it is hardly for you all to really sustain a relationship for in a long-term goal. And the fourth things that always omitted from those books is they fail to tell us that if both parties want to commit a long-term relationship, the most important point is you have to know that both parties shall have a burning desires to being together. If both parties don't have the burning desire to being together, there's a lot of things, a lot of hurdles both of you couldn't go through. And the fifth point that's omitted from this book is we always will have to encounter third parties in through our marriage or our relationship, regardless how strong it is at the beginning. Third parties may not be really a third parties that we mentioned. Third party may come from your own kids, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law. The last point that I feel that this is the point that none of the book mentioned is really encourage us or equip us to be a good manager. To me, how to manage a relationship is depend on how good is your management skill. To me, life is all about the management. When we reach certain age, we open up a lot of compartments in our life, our careers, our families, our present family, our past family. And how you're going to manage your time and how you're going to manage your energy, how you're going to manage everything is depend on your management skill. So most of the time that I always tell my clients that don't always just be being romanticized by those dramas and series. The most important thing is you have to go and justify yourself whether this person would be a very good co-manager to help you to co-manage this family institution. Before I'm going for the second part of today's vlog, I would like to say thanks to William Farr & Partners. You all may go under the description box to go to their website. They even create a first remote control and also a menu that for you all to really go and pick up whatever services you all need. The second part of the book is I want to mention regarding what is the wrong conceptions that we have in from our society and family members. The first wrong concept is we are really well affected by social media. Nowadays, we would like to follow whatever shows in social media. We follow Instagrammers, we follow all those influencers, and we just want to be like them. So there's a lot of things is we will compare whatever good life that they try to show inside the social medias, and we try to compare it with our life partner. So that's the things that will ruin your relationship. The second wrong concept is we always like to get the approval and acknowledgement from our family member. We tend to forget that actually we are the one who is looking for our life partner instead of our parents. So you need not to look for any approval and acknowledgement from your family's member, because when you lost the person, you will lose it forever. There is no any rehearsal, no U-turns in our life. You live once, your parent lives once. You live once and you die once. I always told my friend that the casket is not belongs to the urban people, but the casket is belongs to every one of us. Don't waste any chances that you have. The last concept that I'm trying to tell you all, and I think that this is the greatest value in life that everyone should learn about, that is called acceptance. Nobody used to mention in our parentings and even our school education regarding what is acceptance. We have to learn how to accept the worst behavior from another party, including your friends, including your family members, and your life partner. You need to learn how to accept the worst. Only you can justify and verify yourselves that whether he or she is the right one for you to commit a long-term relationship, instead of calling he or she to keep on changing his or her attitude. This is all for today. I'm going to continue to edit my Pulau Bangkok blog. If you have yet to watch, I will put the link under the description box too. So everyone, have a nice weekend. See you in my next video.
You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easy.